Chris, I don't even know where to start. I mean, what an honor. He's such a fighter, and I just appreciate how much he is a clear eyed truth teller. I think we've been sugarcoating the Trump administration, perhaps. I think we've been given a lot of allowances, which are due. I think you mentioned that. I think a ramping up period has been due, but I think the time for um, allowances may be over, and now it's time that we have to see some real justice. We have to see legislation and action that's going to move this country back to personal sovereignty, back to state sovereignty, back to us as a sovereign nation. I mean, that is the core of Make America Great Again. Make America Great Again is individual liberty.
Yes. That is exactly right, Danielle. And I think that everything at its core is a battle of good versus evil, and specifically a battle of tyranny versus individual freedom and individual liberty. That is the battle, and we're on the right side of the battle. There's no question about it. And I believe that President Trump, at heart, is on the right side of the battle. As I told Tom, there's no one who has been a more direct victim of government tyranny on the national stage than Donald Trump. And so he does have an acute sensitivity for government overreach and government power. And I know he doesn't like the globalists messing in American affairs. So at heart, he's one of us. But I think Tom's point that he is surrounded by too many people who have prostituted themselves at the altar of what Donald Trump has spent his entire life fighting against. And that is what is so sad about what's occurring. That not only is he having to fight against his obvious enemies, he's having to try to figure out who his friends and who his enemies are within his own administration. And often he's not getting very good advice or very good guidance on these issues. And I think it's really, really unfortunate given everything that he has sacrificed to lead our country.
Yeah.
Don't really blame President Trump personally for any of this. I blame the people. I'm infuriated by the people who are surrounding him.
Yeah, and Chris, a couple weeks ago, he promoted Dan Scavino, his right hand man, who's worked for him for 30 something years, to head up the Office of Management and Budget, or Office of Presidential Personnel, rather. So he's in charge of screening the people that make it into the administration. So to me, that says that Trump recognizes the problem, right? I
Yeah.
mean, he's put a
Yeah.
really trusted longtime advisor, an immovable advisor, into a place to kind of be a gatekeeper. So I'm encouraged by that. But we have to pray. I know this has been a weighty subject. I know this has been a very sobering conversation, and it's not the kind of conversation where people walk away and say we're winning so much. But we are winning because we're on the side of truth. We're winning because the Lord is with us. We have to keep President Trump and this administration in our prayers. We have to pray for justice. We need to be prayerful that anyone who's around him would be that's not working for the people, that's not working for the best interests of the country, that's not in sync with what the Lord wants, needs to be exposed and removed by whatever means the Lord deems necessary, right?
Yeah.
So I think to me, this is a call to prayer and a call to action, which,
Absolutely. And it is, when you live in the service of truth, like we try to do here, Danielle, on the state of freedom, you know, the truth is not always, a bed of roses. The truth is not always something that gives you immediate inspiration, but the truth is it's extremely important. I don't want to be in a boat that's headed out to sea and thinking everything is okay, the sun is shining, and there's a hole in the hull and water is pouring into my boat and I don't even know about it. I'm not doing my crew a service by not letting them know about that hole. And so that's what we're trying to do here, and that's what Tom Renz is trying to do. But you're right. We need to hope. We need to pray for the Trump administration and pray that somebody will or is communicating with him, just the absolute magnitude of the issues that we discussed today, so that he can do what's necessary. I'm even less concerned right now, Danielle, about who may be coming inside the gate than I am about who's already inside the gate that needs to
Yeah,
be removed, as you said a minute ago. So, um,
good point.
but
And
I do believe that there's great hope. There's always great hope, and as you said, we have to approach this from the perspective of prayer and knowing that we have the victory, because it's all ultimately in God's timing and in His power.
yeah. And Chris, I do want to remind you that this afternoon we need to take a look at that Uniform Commercial Code legislation that was looked at a couple years ago, because I have a very sinking feeling about that after Tom mentioned that it's being used as a Trojan horse for digital currency. And
I
then just
remember
in a
that. Yeah.
yeah,